Hello everybody and welcome back to another Magic the Gathering Arena video. Today I have a fun one for you, and I hope it's not just me who thinks that. This is actually a fun one. So this deck is centered around Mondrak, Glory Dominus. So this is the 4 costing 4/4 legendary Phyrexian horror. If one or more tokens be created under your control, twice that many tokens are created instead. Also has an ability of 1 and 2 white Phyrexian mana. Sacrifice 2 other artifacts and or creatures. So quite a big cost, but you get to put an indestructible counter on Mondrak Glory Dominus. Bear in mind, it's quite easy for us to have 2 other creatures around and 1 mana open. So yeah, that isn't something that is unattainable for us. The only other card from Phyrexia in this deck is Nissa, the Ascended Animist. We are running, Nissa and Lukka. We're running 2 of each. These we covered in my last video, but basically the reason we're playing both of these Planeswalkers is they both create tokens. So these paired with Mondrak means we can create double Phyrexian Beast tokens on turn 5, or we can create double green Phyrexian Horrors on turn 5. Both these have their utility in other ways, hence why I'm running a split of them. Lukka has some creature and Planeswalker removal with his -4, and Nissa has artifact and enchantment removal. We're not obviously interested in the forests bit of Nissa because, well, we're not running any forests aside from these 4 Jetmir's gardens. But, you know, it still warrants a place in the deck because it gives us that little bit of artifact and enchantment removal, as well as big creatures, bigger than the 3/3s that Lukka produces. So they're both good in their own way. We're also running 2 Wrenn and Seven, and this is a card you haven't seen in a minute. Wrenn and Seven is an old card now in Standard, but it has the -3 of create a green tree folk creature token with reach, and this creature's power and toughness equal to the number of lands you control. Well, creating big creature tokens, so this is normally going to be a 4/4 or a 5/5 when we create it, and it's going to pretty much grow every turn that we can play a land. Well, we're going to get 2 of them. And I think the reason that Planeswalkers creating tokens feels nice to me is that there are quite a few little sweepers around, there's quite a lot of removal around, and being able to have that kind of recursive creation of tokens is really nice. And that is why we're also running 1 of Arlinn at the Pack's Hope. Arlinn is a night-day Planeswalker, so during the day she has a +1 of until your next turn you may cast a creature spells as they are flash. They enter the battlefield with an additional 1/1 counter on it. It doesn't sound like much, but we can cast our Requisitioner with flash as a 3/1. It will come in as a 4/2, and it's a good blocker because it does something when it dies. We can even cast our Squee or another Mondrak as flash if we want to get our Mondrak down before we, for example, try and drop a load of tokens. We could do it safely by granting it flash, and also all creatures enter with 1/1 counters on them. So if we do have a Mondrak down and we generate some creature tokens somehow, which is very, very likely in this deck, they're all going to come in 1 bigger, which is very nice. It also obviously creates 2 tokens itself as a -3. The night side isn't so useful for us, but having a 5/5 indestructible trample with haste is never a bad thing. So that is why we're running 1 of Arlinn. We are running 2 of the Elder Dragon War, which is the saga from Dominaria. The first chapter, it deals 2 damage to each creature and each opponent. That is actually one of the reasons I'm running this. Not the main one, but being able to do that sweeper effect against things like soldiers, against things like mono red, can be game changing for us, especially since we have a little bit of ramp in the deck, so we can get this down on turn 3 in a few situations. Now, we do have to be careful because pretty much every creature that we have, excluding Mondrak and the tokens coming out of these, are going to have 2 toughness, so you can end up sweeping your own creatures. But obviously the beauty of this card is it has read ahead, so you don't have to go through the first chapter if you don't want to. It has 2, discard any number, then draw any number. That's good for us because we've got lots of legendaries in the deck with our Planeswalkers, with our Mondraks, so being able to filter and find things we need is very valuable. But obviously the main reason that we have this in the deck is its 3rd chapter. Create a 4/4 red dragon creature token with flying. Well, if you've got your Mondrak down, you get 2 of these. 2 4/4 dragons are flying for 4 mana is a pretty good payoff. So that's why we're really running this. It's got lots of utility in our deck. For Wedding Announcement, in every single Naya tokens or any tokens deck really, you'll find Wedding Announcement. It's got to be here. It's doing its job well. Running 4 Fable. Fable is just amazing with Mondrak. I mean, this card and this card were basically built together. Fable is brilliant anyway, but if you already have your Mondrak down when you play your Fable, you get 2/2 Goblin creature shamans. Obviously, it then gives us the filtering on chapter 2, and then we can copy stuff on chapter 3. And being able to copy our creatures, will then get 2 of them because you're creating a token that's a copy of it, and this gives you double tokens. Not to mention the fact that when you attack with the Goblin Shaman, it creates a treasure token. So you get 2 treasures if you have attack with that Goblin when Mondrak is down. So because this has 3 different sort of token interactions, Fable and Mondrak are like best buddies. One Squee for a bit of recursive token making, a bit of aggressive way to build back up our board if we get removed. And the lower end is the slightly more curious and interesting bit maybe. 4 Gala Greeters. So Gala Greeters is obviously a slightly weak creature, and that's a 1/1 for 2. But it has, whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, choose one that hasn't been chosen. Put a 1/1 counter, create a tap treasure token, or gain 2 life. Now, this is just the flexibility of this card that makes it really good in the current meta, because there's quite a lot of mono red around, there's a lot of mono black around, there's mono white, there's Rakdos, there's all sorts of things around. So the flexibility that we get off this is nice. Anything that is more aggressive than us, we can choose the life gain a lot. And bear in mind that when we're creating creature tokens, we're often getting double due to Mondrak, so we're going to get to choose 2 of these modes at least. Often we'll find turns where we're just choosing all 3 every single turn. But being able to gain the life can catch us back up against more aggressive decks. Being able to create 2 treasure tokens when you've got Mondrak is very nice, as it can ramp us into being able to play Nissa for 7, or play the Wrenn and Seven quickly. And being able to put counters on Gala Greeters as well, that's always going to be a good thing growing your creatures. We're playing 3 Teachings of the Kirin, so we had to make space. This was a 4 of, and it's now a 3 of. Teachings of the Kirin is nice because there are now a rise in Atraxa reanimation strategies, so putting Atraxa in the graveyard, then using any number of different methods to bring Atraxa back out seems to be the latest flavour of the month. So getting the Orochi, which can exile things from graveyards, is very, very handy in this current meta. And that is one of the reasons that we're sort of running this card. But also it creates a 1/1 spirit token, and the Orochi can create spirit tokens when it attacks as well. So it is also a double token maker, and it's a lot of value in 2 mana. The Riveteers Requisitioner is probably one that people find slightly interesting, but so this is a 3/1 that when it dies you create a treasure token, and it has Blitz for 3. So obviously when it dies, if we have Mondrak down, we're going to get 2 treasure tokens. In other words, this card can pay for itself if we have Mondrak down. So it's a 3/1 that we could effectively cycle for 3 if we have Mondrak down, because we can Blitz it in, attack with it as a 3/1, and then get 2 treasure tokens, which is sort of replacing how much it costs. Now it costs 3 and we only get 2 back, but it is a 3/1 nuke, so if the opponent doesn't have lots of blockers or we're pressuring them, the interaction here is actually very nice. And then it's a nice copy target for the Reflection of Kiki Jiki, and in the current meta, being able to have a 3/1 blocker down early that we don't mind dying actually has a lot of value. Like, unless the Raiders got their Commander faces Kakazan flipped, like this thing's going to give us a treasure at the end, and we could ramp into Mondrak on turn 3 or Elder Dragonborn on turn 3, which is a very nice event for us. So, and then finally 3 copies of Flame Blessed Bolt. So this is the 2 damage to any target creature or planeswalker. If it would die, exile it instead. So this is just a little bit of extra removal for us in the deck to deal with the early game, because there's not really any good tokeny generators or other things that we want to play in the 1-drop slot, but we do need something there because there's lots of fast decks around, and being able to exile things is actually very handy. As I was saying, reanimation is becoming more of a thing. This can obviously it is only 2 damage, but we can use it to top up our attacks on things, because we're almost certainly going to be attacking with our Requisitioners, our Squees, our Goblin Shamans, our tokens that come out of wedding announcements, our dragons, whatever it is. If the thing's got more than 2 toughness, we could just use this plus a creature to trade for like a Sheldred or a whatever it is. So I'm not too worried about the fact that it doesn't finish things on its own. We can use this plus Elder Dragonborn to take things 4 toughness out. So there's multiple ways, and also this can just top up the damage we get off of Lukka on its -4 ability. So it's imperative to me that our removal is cheap. And in Naya, obviously removal is where you're kind of weakest, because the white removal spells don't really work. Ossification is no good in this deck. We've got no basics. You can't use the lay down arms or anything like that. So this one just feels like the right option for me in the current meta. But I'll tell you what, this deck has been a lot of fun in my testing. Being able to put Mondrak down, then play Wrenn and Seven and drop 2 5/5s. People are just like, wait, what? Hence the name of the deck. Like, the Nissa Ascended Animist, like, it'll come in with 3 loyalty on turn 5, so you can drop 2 4/4s with this, and then you've got the Planeswalker plus 2 4/4s plus a Mondrak. Like, the game swing in that turn 4 and 5, if the play pattern goes well, is brilliant. This is why we're running 26 lands. We don't want to be missing our land drops on the way up to these more expensive cards, but we do have our card filtering with Fable, and 4 of our lands can be cycled, so it feels like the right amount. It's been a lot of fun so far, and it actually feels to fit quite snugly in the meta, so I played a whole bunch of games for you to have a look at. I hope you enjoy. Okay, here we go. Just don't really want to be against mono red on the draw, as I was about to say, or mono black with Phyrexia and Obliterator. Anything else is probably fine. We're not mono black, but it could be a Phyrexia and Obliterator. No. Abzan. Sort of Abzan creature sacrifice by the looks of it. That could be okay. Okay, that's where my lands are. Interesting. Abzan Legends. Okay. We're going to need some land. Okay, that's not a legend. No. What are we playing against then? It is legends. Guess we have to block this. It's just worth a card to them. Okay, that's nice. We've got the land we needed, so we can play a Mondrak. Get 2 tokens from Wedding Announcement this time. Just need to survive another couple of turns, and it looks like we might have enough to fight this off. Cut down is interesting. Mondrak down, fine. We'll just deny them 1 card, that's all I can do really. Just getting through all their removal. I mean, they're drawing 2 cards a turn at least, which is painful for us, but seem to have a good supply of Mondraks coming through. And now we've got plenty of creatures for blocking. See if we can stop them just drawing 3,000 cards. Try and stabilise this game a little bit. Now obviously they could remove Mondrak again, I'm sure, but we have got another one, and now we've got enough blockers that... Yeah, okay, they haven't removed Mondrak.
For the sake of all Innistrad, my will must be obeyed. Nothing on Innistrad is free.
This is now on the up, so we can attack Sorin. Give them a little choice. And then I think we'll go straight in with a 4/4 token and get 2 of them. Oh yeah, and they're 5/5s because of this, and we can keep the ability to save Mondrak open. I don't know if they're going to be running any board wipes. If they finish off Mondrak, at least we can... we've got another one. And they won't be drawing any extra cards apart from anything with Sorin. I was about to say that. Okay, pay 3 for an old Rutstein.
Very well.
So, 1 here, 1 here, 2 of these attack there, That's all their planeswalkers gone.
In time, we always win.
And then we'll pay this to play this. And draw a card. There could be more removal for Mondrak, but they can't leave us with 2/5/5 dragons, presumably. Are they going to want to develop their own board at some point? Yeah. I did think that... I mean, they could have a Sheldred's Edict, I suppose, which would give them a guaranteed kill on Mondrak. We don't have enough green sources. Oh, we do have enough green sources. I thought I didn't at first. Can I have 2 8/8s or just one? 2 9/9, sorry. That's nice. I don't want to attack with these, just these. Yeah, you can cut those down. This is looking like we may have survived just about long enough. Nice that we're still drawing as well from the wedding announcement. Okay, okay. Could have something here. Okay. We're against an opera house. We haven't got any of our 2-drops again. Well, it's very bizarre. We've got like 5, 9, 12 cards that cost 2 or less, and we just don't ever seem to draw them when we're on the draw. But I guess the odds are good, right? Of us getting one in the first 2 turns at least. There, speak of the devil. There are the greeters themselves. So Esper this time. It's not mono red, which is the main thing we don't want to be on the draw against. Could easily be a removal for this, but we gotta get through their removal at some point. That's what I always say. We might as well start now. I do actually really like Gala Greeters because they're easy to remove, but does it matter? Like, you don't need them for your strategy to win. It just like, they're like lubricant in your deck. If you've got them, they're great. If not, doesn't matter. They've got something that can target this, so it must be another, either a Soul Partition or Void Rend. So this is quite a removal heavy deck our opponent is playing. Do you know what? I don't want to get rid of any of these cards. I don't know if we want to try jamming Mondrak, to be honest. But then it would be so good if it works. Maybe we just go Greeters. Because our opponent's not deploying anything, so why would we, you know, over-deploy, to call it that. It looks like we're heading into a farewell, doesn't it? Not do anything with white like this, so I don't really want to go too crazy. This seems fine. Lots of lands into the graveyard. We'll get a counter. I think we've got enough on the board for them to want a farewell now, and then we've got plenty to rebuild with. Okay, depopulate. Even better, I suppose. So, could Wrenn and Seven. Pretty nice sort of farewell-proof card. Can cause them some issues, and people don't see it around these days, so they're not expecting it. Okay, they're down to 2 cards. Bankbuster to refill. Oh, that's good. We can get rid of that bank buster. Although we do actually need the land, but we'll probably find more with this.
Every seed contains.
We did indeed. We've hit a little land jackpot. So shall we go for Mondrak now? I think so. Feels about the right time. Not get any value off your bank buster then. Okay, and another land for them.
Guards.
The Elder Dragon War's looking pretty good here. We don't really care about our Kirin. Can get rid of the Emperor. Let's plus the Wrenn. We'll try and keep it alive. Yep, got some more lands, which we can Fable away. And we'll get 2 little goblins. Now, Farewell would be quite annoying, but at least we've got Wrenn. I had to say it. Okay, so we could discard the things we don't need. A couple of Flame Blessed Bolts. We'll get rid of one of those. Get rid of one more land, shall we? The green one's more useful to us. No, get rid of that. Okay, got more lands, but we've got some. I've got 2 clues because of the Fateful Absence. That's quite funny. They can't do anything. I might as well play both these out so we can start drawing. And now, even a depopulate, we can keep Mondrak alive. And we're going to draw 2 cards. Pretty good. We can have a good hand even if they have a board wipe. GG. GG. Control dusted. Got a pretty good board presence. That was nice. Alright. Next game. I forgot to put the green screen back up at first after I've been to the loo, so that's why we've launched into this one a little bit, but hand looks okay. We've actually got the Requisitioner to try out, so should be fun. If we are ever allowed to have a go. That's a tap land, that's a tap land, okay. We can run with the Eiganjo next. Mono red, but we're on the play, and we've got our Requisitioner, which is kind of our anti-mono red tech, so let's run with this. I mean, obviously the Kamano is annoying because we won't get the treasure, but the real point of it is to just be a 3-1 that stops people battering us, so let's see if it works. This into wedding announcement should be pretty good. Keeping this alive long enough to use the 3 damage off Lukka would be nice, but we'll see how the game plays out and what we need to do. Bum, 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 bum. They're like, what? A Requisitioner? Not playing a creature or 1-drop creature? No creature. Ooh, a Squee is tempting, but I think we're going to go with the announcement. So, we haven't got a land to play Lukka. I don't think we'll attack with this. Keep it as an option to block with. Although now that there's Kamano, yeah, we've got these etchings lined up to come out. I don't think we can have any hope of this. Oh, I was about to say, I don't think we have any hope of this giving us a treasure. And lo and behold, a treasure has befallen us. Well, they've done me a favour there. Done me a favour. Squee, yeah. 3-1. We can kill off the 1-1. Stop them going too wide. And we've got an untapped land, so we can go Wrenn. Get ourselves a 4-4. And a 1-1. So they can kill off Wrenn. But yeah. So we're in pretty good shape with the wedding announcement and a Wrenn and 7 down. Gonna go all guns blazing at Wrenn, or what are you thinking? Pretend he doesn't exist. There's two options really. Try and win in the next turn. Where's Squee going? Squee's going face as well. Curious. So you could potentially keep Wrenn and 7 alive. Okay. And then point your one Wrenn and 7. No. Okay, so I think we'll just ignore Wrenn, let that die. Kill the other things. They could trade. They could use a burn on the tree folk, and that is absolutely fine. Yeah, that's a massive load of resources to get rid of that, and the Squee dies anyway. The 1-1 dies. I think we'll just play this out like this, and minus 4-4 on a 2-2, and Lukka's still got 4 loyalty. So they can't bring this Squee back at the moment. They've got a foundry, but that has summoning sickness. Maybe Lukka will survive, and if he doesn't, they've used a load of resources again to get rid of him, so it's looking okay. It is looking okay. We would like to find either a Mondrak, Elder Dragon War, Arlinn, Wrenn, Lukka, Nissa, or even another wedding announcement, to be honest. But any of that is good. Gala Greeters, I mean most stuff in our deck is good at this point. Raiju. And they're going for Lukka. So if we block like that, Lukka still dies. Yeah, fine. Raiju dies, we keep our beast. Cool. And we can gain some life. A 1-1. I didn't mean to attack with this beast, to be honest, but given that we're probably not dead this turn, don't think we're going to cycle that. Now we're threatening them back. Okay, a land and a fell dung. Can't Squee. 5-8, yeah, we've got lethal on the kickback. Sweet. That felt good. Okay. T-Bell 09. 3 in a row, I think, with this deck now. Looking good. Got our bolt in the opening hand, which is nice. Plenty of land, although we haven't got 2 whites for Mondrak. But we've got a Fable to find them. What even is this thing? It's like mouths. Is it just a big pile of mouths? Look, I don't even really understand what it is. It's pretty cool art though. Shattering all these columns of ice, or stone, whatever they are. There's a big pile of mouths. Ah, that is the Fildar little 1, 2, 3, 4 curve. Can't zap that, unfortunately. I think we're more likely to need a Boseiju than a Sokenzan in this game, although Sokenzan is obviously normally our go-to. Okay, there's our Greeters gone.
Happy to help, but I'm taking the credit.
That's fine.
Off you go.
We'll have a Fable. So we can bolt the Liliana even if they have a blocker. Yeah. is what that is. I guess we'll get rid of teachings. So that's interesting. Should we get rid of this? No, we might need a second green source. Should we get rid of this one? Yeah. Fine. Play Fable again. And we'll kill Liliana.
Knew this was a waste of time.
So we still haven't got our second white. Oh, is that what I just threw away? That was a bit stupid. I threw away something we definitely need for the chance of getting something we don't know. So this next turn lets them search for a card. So I guess we should Boseiju that now. Elder Dragon, I guess we'll keep. So let's get rid of this. Because God knows what they would search up, but it wouldn't be anything good for us. We'd much rather they have a land. And then if we do draw a land next turn, we can discard it if we want to. Shelled red. That is bad, but... Alright. That's annoying. What is this? Okay. Squee. Well, we've got enough stuff to use it twice. Copy this. So we can get a little bit of damage in and get ourselves enough treasures that we can play whatever we draw. We did think they would block the Squee. Get him for 5. Obviously they're going to gain 2 and then 2 more maybe from Bankbuster, but they've got their own Fable. Gain some more life yet. Land. Any cut downs or anything? No. Okay. So we could just use our reflection, build the reflection army, which I guess is probably what we want to do at the end of our opponent's turn. If they don't have removal for the reflection, then we just build 7 of them. Should have played this land. That was a whole 2 damage. Okay. No invokes there. Oh, a Traxer. That is probably game. Another Liliana. Yeah, I think we're fucked. And another Traxer that they can't play, but I'm not sure what we're doing really with this, but because now they've got this 7/7 that I don't actually have any removal for. So we're giving them 7 life back anyway. We'll just concede. We'll just move on. Yes. Alright. A nice thing is that we do have inbuilt graveyard hate with the teachings in this deck. So mostly we're good against like a Traxer reanimate decks. That one just went a little bit too protracted for us. Swift Spear, mono red again. Okay. Well, got to test ourselves against mono red. And Mondrak and 2 lands. We would not block. because we want to be able to put this 1/1 counter on our spirit. Makes it a better blocker against the mono red decks for sure. Definitely paid some stream attacks in my rating. Down to 94% of this experimenting. Fine. And we'll play Fable and hope we can double spell these, or play Mondrak next turn. No blocks. No attacks. A Ronin. I think the Ronin is a good block. Swift Spear is too dangerous to block in that particular situation because they could just shock our face. Okay, we've got quite a lot of options now. Don't think we want this Teachings, and I don't think we really want a Pain Land because we can get a treasure. Yeah, we'd much rather have a non-Pain Land like so. Then if we put Mondrak in, we will get 2 treasures when we attack, which we can then spend on Gala Greeters or the Requisitioner. Or it could force them to use up some removal on our Goblin token in our turn, which is good because they don't get the benefit of the damage on the Swift Spear. So we do this, we'll get 2 treasures now. There they are. And then next, I'm thinking about playing the Greeters, just because I don't think we're dead next turn, and then we can start gaining 2 life a turn. So let's play these. 2 treasures and 2 life a turn. Sounds good to me, because putting 2 creatures onto the battlefield shouldn't be a challenge with Arlinn and whatever else we draw. We can use the Kirin to generate creatures. It's looking good. I'm not saying we can never lose to red from this stage, because like a Mechanized Warfare or similar would be bad for us, but now there's obviously a combat trick here, like a lightning strike or something. So if our Mondrak dies, that's bad, but it's not the end of the world. And if we force them to use resources up, and if we can trade it for a Swift Spear in the process, maybe that's good. Although 1, 2, say 5 damage. Let's say they lightning. Let's say they do double play with fire to our face. That would be 9 plus 2 more, 11 damage. We go to 2. Yeah, we'd get low. But then they'd be out of cards. So I think it's worth just passing. And if they want to kill Mondrak, they've got to do it the hard way. And use their burn on Mondrak. Could have jumped with the Kirin, I suppose. Crescendo is nice. That is good for them. Okay, there's 1. So we'll take 2 life. We'll then play Arlinn. Take 2 wolves, which is 4 wolves.
Run wild, run free.
And now we've used all of our Gala Greeters triggers. We even get 2 treasures like that. We can attack with everything because we've got tons of blockers. We'll create a token, which gives us 2 tokens. And we can play our Requisitioner as Blitz for a card for next turn. And we get 2 treasures. We just got to not die to the chicks in the air. A crescendo alone does not do it. A crescendo plus a shock would do it. Uh-oh. They haven't played their land or conceded, which to me means we could be dead. And if that's the case, I'll really regret not blocking with this Kirin when I had the chance. Yeah. Have you got 4 damage in 2 cards? It's very possible. Cycling one of them. If either of those are lands, we're fine. Lightning strike will take us to 1. And then it's our go. Whew. The opponent kept us guessing there till the last minute. That was a fun game. GG. Okay. Party. You gotta fight for your right. Party. Soldiers, soldiers, soldiers. That is a much better turn 1 play. So, Greeters into Requisitioners. We've got plenty of creatures that can get stuck in here, so let's see what happens. Definitely going to need these Requisitioners as blockers, well, 1 at least. Okay, they're new to attack, unfortunately. Yeah, we'll gain the life. This is a good blocker for anything on the ground now. We do need to deal with this Harbin, which is getting increasingly difficult. It's now a 2-turn clock. We have got the Eiganjo, but if they put more counters on it with the veteran, that isn't going to solve our problem. Let's see if they don't, and we get lucky. I was expecting them to flash into soldiers then, to be honest. Ah, thank goodness. That was lucky. We could have suffered there. Ah, this is good. So, let's put our little Arlinn in play. Okay, it's not. But whilst, in case they've got another one of those, we'll get rid of the veteran. So we're going to take 3 damage here, or maybe 4 if they put the 1+1/+1 over here. Yikes. That's a lot of drawing if they want to do it. They might be more interested in killing us though. Don't know. Yeah, they're drawing. Okay. I think we'll probably play this first. That is interesting. They're doing the drawing now. Get our 1/1. We'll probably gain some life, shall we? No, we'll put a 1/1 just because of all these 1/1s. I'm going to be able to do the other one now anyway. And I think we will blitz this. Gain some life. Attack with this one. It's going to die anyway. So no way they're going to block. Yeah. Because they just need a Harbin, don't they? And then they win. And they've drawn a ton of cards. That isn't a Harbin, but it's pretty good. I think we might be getting beat by soldiers here, boys. Yeah. We're beat. GG. We just didn't really draw anything that game. It was a bit of a weird one. It just fizzled, but it's curious. I guess one or two more of the Flame Blessed Bolts would have been nice, but yeah, didn't really draw anything. A lot of land. 1, 2, 3, like 9 land in the top 17. It's a bit much. I think what it is in hindsight, having thought about it, is we really rely on our 3-drops. So if we don't have a wedding announcement or a Fable, then we sort of fall a little bit flat. I mean, the Kirin teachings of the Kirin are nice, but on their own they're not doing that much. So I think it's something to just be thinking about when we're looking at what hands to keep. We haven't got 3-drops here either, but we have got 2 Greeters and the Elder Dragon Maw. And it could be against mono red, so the Greeters could be really nice. Although they can remove them, it's always good to force red decks to use their burn on creatures, and if they don't, we gain life with this creature. Okay, that's a sort of burn that works on creatures and my face, but Reckless Impulse for a Swift Spear and a Squee. We'll go Greeters again. And then I think we'll just play this as a 4/4 dragon, and then we can use that with Lukka to remove their creatures. Obviously we'll be gaining life with the Greeters. That's pretty much its job against red. And we'll keep it back just in case. I've got 3 of these. Oh my god. Well, GG. I don't know what to say about that. 3 player fires. That is, yeah, that'll do it. Absolutely flattened by red. The only really real way to combat the red, it feels like, is with some incidental life gain, but there aren't really any lifelink cards that are good enough to include. Like, Intrepid Adversary would be okay because it can buff our creatures, but it doesn't create tokens and it doesn't do much on its own. It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one to know what to do about red on the draw, because, like, what can you do? Sunset Revelry? I mean, in Alchemy there are cards like on the draw that can help you out. Granted, not really in Naya, but I don't know. It does feel like a tricky one. We'll get the teachings going, I think. Playing red-white now in our hand. Red, mono red again. Well, I said we were on the draw, maybe we weren't. Were we in the play last time? I can't really remember. We'll attack. Doesn't feel like this is an aggro deck because they're playing Bankbuster. We've got a 3-1 on defense. Okay, looks like they're failing to hit their land drops, which is great for us. Oh, it's a red-white reanimation deck. Oh, we've got the Kirin. I'd be very interested in exiling that from their graveyard. They could have a Brotherhood Zend, whatever that 3 damage for all creatures is. At least we'll keep our Mondrak though. No. Let's just attack first. Get rid of that. No thank you. Put it on this. Just in case it doesn't end the festivities. Fine. Fine. Now I would be tempted to make 2 4/4 dragons because they can't burn down the house next turn. And I struggle to see what they're going to do about that. We can even keep Mondrak alive and sack these two if there is some kind of burn I've not thought of. GG. Okay. Attaboy. Foreign clicks. There's a Sheldred. Good hand. Getting some good hands now. Let's get this down on turn 1, this on turn 2. Red, black. Teachings it is, because this could be some kind of a Traxxas reanimate. You never know. In this wonderful day and age that is the standard of today. Do you know what? It is feeling like that. It's feeling like a Traxxas reanimate of some kind. Let's get the announcements down. Let's try and get this snowball going before things that are too bad happen to us. They haven't managed to put anything in the graveyard or do anything yet, if that is what this is. What is going on here? Maybe it's because they know we've got Kirin that they need to remove. Fable. Yeah, look. This is reanimate. Cheeky buggers. They knew they had to get rid of that Kirin. There's going to be an Atraxa in this graveyard before long, mark my words. Yeah. I guess we will do that. So, would we get rid of Arlinn? And this Gorge? Yeah, whatever. So maybe we do Mondrak and attack with everything. Get ourselves 2 treasures. Then next time we'll do something similar and kill off Sheldred with Lukka. Okay, they sort of stabilise the Sheldred. In fact, we've got less life than they have now, but we've definitely got more potential to do damage as well. That's probably Mondrak down.
Death is obsolete.
Yeah. That's okay. So we've got Lukka. So I think what we'll do is do this. Make sure Vraska dies. And then we'll kill off the Sheldred.
I am the ultimate weapon. Rip out their hearts.
And we've still got this Lukka threatening to rip out their hearts. Bound to ruin. They're probably not going to look in my hand. Nope. Just going to bring something back. Sheldred? Yeah. Okay. Draw. Let's do like this. Play this Lukka. I'm afraid we'll have to minus it again. We can't have them keeping Sheldred. Nope. GG. Lukka removal for the win. Okay. Cabin Crunch. 93% versus 95%. And we're going first for a little change. A little switch up. We do need our 1 more land for our Fable, because our Greeters could get laid down at their arms. That's cool. Like it. I'm about that. I've got time for that. No. Didn't think we would just kindly get another land. So we'll go create an hour treasure so we can at least Fable next turn. Had to lay down his arms now, but it's too late. Then we will definitely go Mondrak. Get 2 treasures for that. I think we'll play the other Requisitioner. Sleeping? What do you mean? How can you possibly be sleeping versus this deck? This is an incredibly fascinating deck. So are we facing a Wandering Emperor? Possibly. Maybe not. Is it going to be a farewell? Could be, couldn't it? Let's try and do as much damage as we can. Just waiting for me to attack with Mondrak.
I'm not overconfident. You're just underground.
So we don't get all the doubles.
I am almost
At least we can kill that.
I'm never done for
What if it is a farewell? Let's not cast anything. We've got pretty killer board. Steel Seraph. So there's no farewell in their hand. Well, this will kill that off. Yeah. Can't even talk. All the snoring emojis, but you never play against this deck. How can that possibly be boring? Okay, just a quick look at the stats for those that are into that type of thing. This is my profile. This is the deck. So we've got a 60% win rate over 20 games. So obviously not a groundbreaking deck in that regard. It's 70% over the last 10 games, and this is since I added the Flame Blessed Bolts, which is actually quite a big improvement. Taking out or tweaking some of the slower stuff I had, an extra Arlinn. I had 1 copy of Jugan that wasn't very good in there, and Teachings for the three copies of this has made quite a big difference to the deck. So actually I'd be more inclined to expect the performance to be somewhere between 60 and 70% win rate, which puts it pretty good in my mind. On the Mythic Best of 1 ladder, you can't expect terrifically more than that, but just to have a look at how we're doing in the matchups. So mono red is why I tweaked the deck to have the Flame Blessed Bolt. So now, since this change, this is performing better against mono red. We've got 2 wins and 1 loss against mono red, whereas before it was 2 losses and 1 win. So we've definitely managed to improve this weakness in the deck. Black we're doing well against. The reason that is that a lot of black removal these days is focused around forcing you to sacrifice things. So things like Sheldred's Edict, Liliana, Invoke Despair. And we often have stuff that we don't mind sacrificing, like extra little creatures and bits around. Again, white removal is very target focused. If they're not running Farewell, there's lots of lay down arms or targeted removal spells, and they simply don't have enough to remove all of our stuff, and I think that's why we're faring well against white. Everything else we've only played 1 game against, so it's hard to say you know, how well we do against these things. Blue can always be tricky. I mean, it is what it is, mono blue. And white blue, we got run over by soldiers. That was a tough matchup, and will continue to be a tough matchup unless we manage to like squeeze in a bit more early game removal, which is essentially what you need against soldiers. That is another reason that we're running the Bolt though, is that it actually works well against Brutal Cathar. So one of the tough matchups is soldiers, and this is a really nice card against that. So I'm hoping the Bolt is going to swing those matchups a little bit more in our favour as well. But anyway, I've had really, really good fun with the deck. I think you would too. Please do have a go with it. Let me know your feedback. Let me know what you think. And if you've got any cards you want me to use or build around in future, do let me know. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I have seen an uptick in the number of people watching recently, and that is so nice to see. It makes me feel rewarded for filming this kind of thing. So thank you very, very much. And I will see you next time. Bye for now.